Well, the moment we have all been waiting for kind of came and then went yesterday, very anticlimactically. As you guys know, we have been covering these mysterious drones that are being sighted flying all over America. We've been covering that story very extensively on this channel, and as I'm sure you guys have heard by now, President Trump promised that he would address the American public and he would let the American public know what was going on with these drones. Well, he kept his promise, and I am extremely happy he did. It's nice to have a president that is doing what he said he was going to do, so I do appreciate that. But the explanation we were given, I don't know how to feel about it. I don't want to say too much right now, though. I want to roll this clip. I want you to hear for yourself. You let me know what you think of this explanation in the comments below. And then after this clip, I'll be right back to tell you how I feel about all of this.
And before I turn to questions, I do have news directly from the President of the United States that was just shared with me in the Oval Office. From President Trump directly, an update on the New Jersey drones. After research and study, the drones that were flying over New Jersey in large numbers were authorized to be flown by the FAA for research and various other reasons. Many of these drones were also hobbyists, recreational, and private individuals that enjoy flying drones. In time, it got worse due to curiosity. This was not the enemy.
Now, before I dive deeper into how I feel about this explanation, let me say this. I am grateful that we got an explanation at all. I am extremely happy that they addressed this, that they were willing to talk about this, that Trump said, hey, I'm going to let you know something, and he let us know something. I'm happy about that. But, let's be real here. This is not the full truth about these drones. It's not even close to being the full truth about these drones. Now, I will say that my number one theory is kind of been shot down. I fully trust and believe that if Donald Trump had knowledge of enemy drones from China flying around, I believe that he would shoot them down. Okay? So my number one theory was that China was most likely behind these drones. I think it's safe to say that that theory has kind of gone out the window. Now, don't get me wrong. We know that at the very least, some of these drone situations are people from China coming and spying on our military bases. There's already been several arrests. We know that's happening for a fact. But as far as the SUV-sized drones flying over New Jersey, I'm willing to accept that I was wrong. Okay, it's probably not our enemy. If it was, I think Trump would have handled that. So if it's not our enemy, it goes to the other two theories that I have, the other two options that are available, which is these are either aliens, UFOs, or something along those lines, or just like they explained, these drones were being used for research and other things. Now, people are so willing to accept this information because we're so used to being lied to and gaslit and not told the truth. A lot of people are willing to accept this information and move on because it's coming from the Trump administration. Now, the Biden administration blatantly lied. They threw out different explanations about these drones, but ultimately, the story that they ran with at the end was that there are no drones. None of this is happening. We now know that they completely lied to the American public. But this answer that we're being given right now, these things are being used for research. What research? What kind of research are they doing? And why is this research being conducted in New Jersey so heavily? What's so special about New Jersey? You know what I mean? We know that these drones have been flying over other military bases in other states, but why is New Jersey the central hub of all of the activity? What research is being done in New Jersey? But then you gotta really think, folks, because like I said, people are so willing to accept this explanation because of who it's coming from that they forgot how we got here. They forgot the details of this story. You see, they say that the FAA authorized all of these drones. Well, if that's the case, why did the FAA say they had no idea what these drones were? Because for months on end, the FAA said they had no idea what was going on. And then, folks, and I guess some people just don't have a memory anymore, the FAA put bans and restrictions on drone flights in certain areas, set up no-fly zones. I mean, why would the FAA do all of that if they're the ones that were authorizing these drone flights? Why are you setting up restrictions where people can't fly drones here, people can't fly drones there? And we got to remember that it goes bigger than that. We had multiple airports shut down. The FAA shut down the airspace over multiple airports, over portions of New Jersey. And it's not just the airports. In case people forgot, we got multiple military bases that were shut down by the drones. The military themselves acknowledged this. So you're telling me that whatever research is going on, the military doesn't know? The military doesn't know that some entity is doing research with drones above their military bases? Because the military came out and said multiple times that they had no idea what was going on. In fact, they had to shut down multiple airports and multiple bases where they were launching helicopters and planes and what have you. Multiple Air Force bases and runways were shut down by the drones. So it's just really weird because all of this could have been nipped in the bud in the beginning if Biden just says, hey, you know, the drones are ours, we're doing research. People would have moved on. But that didn't happen. And the military, if they knew about this, if they were in on it, they didn't have to ever say anything. It's not like we expected them to explain anything to us, yet multiple military bases came out and said, hey, we're aware of the drones. They are stopping us from doing this. They're stopping us from doing that. So that would lead you to believe that whatever research is being conducted, that people on these military bases aren't even aware of this research. So yeah, I definitely have a lot of questions, and it's not like I'm the only one. I know some people are ready to accept this explanation and move on, but I'm not. And most of the people who have looked into this story thoroughly, and the experts out here, they're not ready to move on either. It's not like I'm the only one saying, hey, this ain't the full story. No, other people are saying that as well, and other people are talking about that too. Now, I want you to understand, I'm not blaming Trump for this. I'm not saying, oh, Trump's lying to us. That's not what I'm saying here. All I'm saying is that we're not getting the full truth. And I'm not sure if Trump is even getting the full truth. Trump's been doing a hell of a lot in his first week in office. I don't know if I could trust that someone's going to come down and just tell Donald Trump the whole entire truth about what's going on with the drones. We got to understand that the government, it operates in a way that most people don't understand. The president does not have access to all of the knowledge about what's going on behind the scenes in our country and on some of these military bases and stuff like that. The president has no idea. All U.S. presidents have been kept in the dark about a lot of things that have been going on in this country behind the scenes. So I don't know if I could trust that Trump was given the truth about what's going on here. The only thing I trust right now is, okay, I believe that these big drones in New Jersey aren't enemy drones. You know, and I've already prepped y'all for that possibility that, yeah, maybe this is, you know, America doing some testing. But if that's the case, then what type of testing and research are you doing? Do you plan to use these drones on the American people because it kind of looks like it? And what's so special about New Jersey? That's a question that's on a lot of people's minds right now. But when looking at this overall story and hearing this explanation, we can't just say, oh, okay, oh, that sounds right. Because we have to hold people accountable. And when I say hold people accountable, I'm not saying, oh, we got to hold this press secretary accountable. No, what about all of these government agencies? What about Joe Biden and the Biden administration that lied constantly, saying that none of this was happening? Meanwhile, mayors, congressmen, you name it, we're all seeing this stuff happen with our own eyes. And many of those mayors and congressmen, they're not backing down from this story yet. They know that we're not getting the full truth here. So I am glad that we could at least rule out some possibilities, but now I still got questions, and my questions have kind of changed. And now I think this opens up other possibilities, and now I think we really got to seriously start looking at this supernatural UFO, UAP aspect to the story as well, because a lot of people are claiming that they're seeing orbs and the drones are shape-shifting and stuff. I can't speak on how true that is, but I also don't want to shoot down anyone else's personal experiences, because one thing I've learned over recent years is that there's a lot of weird stuff going on that we can't explain, right? So I have such mixed feelings about this, because part of me is just happy that they're even willing to at least talk about this to us. You know what I mean? Because this is much more than what we've gotten. But the other part of me is kind of disappointed, because I mean, we're kind of still at square one. We can rule a couple of things out, but there's obviously still a bigger picture here. A bigger picture that they're not willing to show us. If you ask me right now, everyone should put themselves in the shoes of someone who's living in New Jersey, living in one of these areas where there's a lot of weird, mysterious drone activity. Because think about it. The explanation that we were just given, like, oh, they're FAA approved, you know, they're doing research, that might be a good enough explanation for you, because you're not affected by this nonsense directly, at least yet, right? So that might be a good enough explanation for you to go about your life and not worry about it anymore. But if you're someone who has SUV-sized mystery drones hovering over their house all day, the government saying, oh, they're for research, that's not a good enough explanation. That's not a good enough explanation for someone who's trying to, you know, spoon feed their children baby food as, you know, SUV-sized drones are hovering above their head for research purposes. Like, if these things are flying over my home, I'm going to want a better explanation. What type of research are you talking about? Am I the research? Because there doesn't seem like there's anything interesting going on in my home. So why are you researching over my house with your big drones? You know what I mean? So there's a lot of obvious questions that still need to be answered. And I'm not ready to just write this story off right now, although I'm sure some people are. But for now, you let me know your thoughts about this down in the comments below. While you're down there, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe, ring that notification bell, and I'll talk to you all very soon in the next one.